think why I love forests so much is just how many things are living inside the forest. Once you come to a forest and you hear all the different birds, you see all the different animals, you can really appreciate it. And there's no other way to do that than by visiting a forest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Preach, man.
Preach. I think I really properly fell in love with nature and like animals when I saw my first Raffles banded langur. So it's a very rare species of monkey. First time I saw it jumping from tree to tree, so it was really amazing. Like, I didn't know we had such like rare and cool wildlife, so it really got me interested into finding out more about like the hidden side of Singapore. We both love nature, but I prefer forest. She prefers marine,
ocean,
the ocean. I guess you can say like nature is a big part of our relationship.
Either we're lying, we're doing absolutely nothing, or we're like walking around in nature.
So when I first heard that Dover Forest was being cleared, I just thought that, man, it's such a shame. And then we just wanted to see what could be done to like make a compromise between development and preserving our forested spaces.
So there's basically been a lot of attention on Dover now, but we're also missing forests like Clementi, where it also has a chance of being cleared in the future. So we definitely want to highlight it now before it's too late. You know, we don't want to wait until it becomes an issue and then we start making a huge outcry about it.
So what we have here is a taro plant. So many of you will be familiar with this plant. You drink bubble tea, taro milk tea, right? So it's made from like the roots or tubers of this plant that are underground. Why we have these plants here is because a lot of it was used for plantations before. So you get crops like tapioca, you get banana, and a lot of other crops. But taro is very striking because it's huge. The leaves are really big and leathery, right? So whenever it rains, if you need an umbrella, right, you can use one of these, or you can use it as a fan also. Just like move it up and down. Nice gush of wind.
Our babies.
They're not even ants, these are like babies of whatever these are. They don't have BP, yeah. These are morning glory flowers. So behind us, we have possibly the most common species in our regrowth forest. These are albizia trees. Why they're so common is because in the past they were used as trees for reforesting abandoned land, but we didn't realize that they were so invasive. So now they're everywhere.
They actually can support big birds. So these big birds actually nest on the top of the canopy of albizia. So we can always see like huge like nests with like sticks and everything. And also because the bark of the albizia is so soft, birds like hornbills, they can actually peck inside the bark and create their own nest of their own also.
We're heading towards a portion of Clementi Forest that has nice freshwater streams with a lot of like native fish and dragonflies. Look at all these yams. Look at
There's
all
a lot of yams.
these chickens. So we're at one of the few freshwater streams in Clementi. What we're looking at now is a dragonfly. Dragonflies are good indicators that water is clean, like the water quality is good, because they spend most of their lives actually in the water. So if they can live in this kind of habitat, it means there's probably a lot of fishes, insects, other animals like living here. What are you taking a photo of? The lever?
This stem thing.
Careful right here, don't fall. You'll fall back down to like the Middle Ages or something.
Shut up, Elliott. My boyfriend that doesn't care about me.
I think you're able.
I think there's a misconception that saving a nature space is just for animals and plants, but as humans also we benefit from it. Like we get clean air from the forest. It also helps mitigate climate change. It helps us with our mental well-being. I think people tend to like forget about that also.
So what I have here is a fig tree. It's a Keystone species, which means that it provides food all year round for different types of animals, mostly mammals. So you get like monkeys, squirrels, bats, all eating these fruits. Fig trees have very close relationships with fig wasps. Each tree can only be pollinated by a certain species of fig wasp. They actually use the fruits as like kind of a place to lay their eggs. So the fig wasp will climb inside the fruit, they'll lay the eggs, they'll die inside, and then the mom actually becomes like a food source for her babies. When it's unripe, you can still find these larvae inside, but once it's ripe, they will all have exited already. What you hear in the background is the straw-headed bobo. So these birds are critically endangered worldwide, and Singapore actually has the densest population in the world. Their stronghold is in Pulau Ubin, but forests in the west, like Dover Forest, Clementi Forest, they're really important for these birds to travel between habitats to get different types of food sources. Yeah, so it's great. Every time you come here, early in the morning or in the evening, you can hear these birds calling. It's a very beautiful sound.
Ew, so cute.
I'm falling.
So basically I watched this video called The Silent Forest. So what he was talking about was how like if it's a quiet forest and there's no sound, it means there's no more life in the forest. So it's assuring to know that whenever I come to any forest in Singapore, I still can hear all the sounds. So it gives me hope lah that there's still a lot of life left in Singapore's forests and like nothing is like dead yet lah. Yeah.
If we give forests the opportunity to grow back, they actually can, probably better and more than we think that they are able to. But the key thing is we have to give it the opportunity to come back.
So we are not against development at all. We understand that Singapore is land scarce and we have to clear something at the end of the day. But it's more like, why are we choosing these areas instead of another area?
In the case of Dover, they did a baseline study. So that is not an impact assessment. Baseline study basically just says what's there. What flora do we have? What fauna do we have? What it does not do is tell you exactly what development is going to happen, to which areas, and what's going to be done to mitigate the effects. So what we really want for Dover is environmental impact assessment. And I think people do have a genuine interest in saving these areas. So you really just need to go out there and experience it. You can do this by yourself, just get to your nearest park, or you could join like a bunch of different nature groups so that next time there is this kind of threat to like nature spaces and where there is an actual better alternative, more people can come up and like speak about it.
Because when we bring people to like Changi Beach, they're like super like shook. Like they're like, what is this stuff? When they see like a starfish, they're like, yo, that's crazy. And I'm like, so I think it's really important to just like bring people to like forests and all the nature areas that we have in Singapore.
Like when people go and they see so many different things, they're like, wow,
Yeah.
Singapore is so much. Like, it's time to like protect these places.